I'll wait on some people to get their notifications. I got it plugged in. Sound should be fine. It's been a little bit longer of a week than usual. My kids got sick. I haven't been feeling all that great, but um, always got time. Always got time for my live shows. What's going on, Justin Knox? Just watched my top 25. What'd you think about it? Um, I just go by what I see. I know a lot of people are like, that looks nothing like, ESPN's way too early top 25. Different polls that you've seen. It doesn't look the same. That's because I don't go by like history per se. I go by the roster and the production that I've seen and the returning production. Schedule really doesn't play that big of a factor into it because that's a whole separate story. Some of those teams will have tougher schedules than others, so they will have more losses because of that. But that's strictly based on, returning talent and the production from that talent that's returning. So, yeah, let me know what you think about that preseason top 25. I do know one thing. I know that Notre Dame fans are not happy about it because I have Notre Dame and Texas A&M fans. I had Notre Dame, I think, at 15, and I think I had Texas A&M down at 24, and I had Indiana down at 25. Northwestern, I don't even have ranked. I think Northwestern and Indiana are going to be kind of bumped back down to reality. Maybe not like basement dwellers like what we're used to seeing, but last year it's not going to be the same. I think Indiana can still get 8 wins, 9 wins, but it depends on the health of Michael Penix Jr. That's a very big key factor as far as if they're going to have a successful season or not, because something that people are not taking into consideration is the difference from last year's schedule to this year's schedule. Last year we had a condensed schedule, particularly for the Big Ten and the Pac-12. So there was a chance for these lower level teams to have magical seasons because of that. They're not getting tested as much. Their depth is not as good as, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa, all the better teams. But because the schedule was shortened, that didn't matter as much. So now that we're going back to a full schedule, depth is definitely going to matter. And that's why I think those teams kind of slide back down. I don't think they fall off a cliff, but I do think that they slide back down. I don't think Indiana's going to compete for the Big Ten title or the Big Ten East, for that matter. I think both Ohio State and Penn State will finish above Indiana this year because of the condensed schedule and because their amazing quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., got injured. Now, he's recovering, but, will he still be at full capacity? Because he's a true dual-threat quarterback, and he uses his legs, so that injury does matter. Justin says, you don't have my LSU Tigers, LOL. Penn State is a bit high, but they will be better. I get Texas A&M lost a lot on the O-line, but they're still a top 15 team in my opinion. Yeah, I understand that, but their quarterback issues, they lost Kellen Mond, and their quarterback competition not looking all that great right now. Defense is suspect. They're going to have a great running game. I will be the first to admit that Texas A&M will have a great running game, in my opinion. They have a lot of depth at that position. The problem is, if they can't figure out the offensive line, then, that might not matter. And, you combine that with having to break in a new quarterback, I'm not sure. I kept them in my top 25, but, I just think they lost too much to be as high as people are putting them, especially ESPN whenever they had them in the top 10. I didn't see that at all. LSU was on the fringe. I almost put LSU in. It was basically Ole Miss that knocked LSU out, because Ole Miss has pretty much their entire offense intact coming back that can pretty much score at will. And my reasoning was, if they can improve at all from last year's defense, then they're going to jump in the SEC West standings tremendously. Tremendously. And whenever I looked at their statistics, I'm like, man, there's only one way for their defense to go, and that's up. They were allowing almost 40 points per game. So I think Ole Miss actually had a really good record for a defense that was allowing about 40 points per game. That's crazy. So even if they could cut that down to 30, which is still a bad defense, I don't think I'm asking too much. I don't think that's, far-fetched. Ole Miss, I have them finishing second in the SEC West for that reason. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Wisconsin says, I need you to say something to prank my mom, if that's okay. Please, say Wisconsin fan with $100. Wow, thanks. What? Oh, in the, wait a minute. Are you talking about, for a super chat? Is that like a super chat prank or something? Wisconsin fan with $100. Wow, thanks. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like you're wanting me to thank you for $100 for either a PayPal donation or a super chat. Huh. Yeah, I try to. That's one thing that, and a lot of people know this by now, as far as, people that have been subscribed to me for a while now, is I try to, number one, think outside the box, and number two, go by actual, what I see, actual stats, not just, they looked good last year. They lost a lot, but, that doesn't matter. It's just they looked good, and their brand, is trending upward. That's like when people were saying that Texas was going to finish, right up there with Oklahoma last year. I'm like, I don't see. What are you guys talking about? I know Sam Ehlinger was coming back, but he hasn't really done all that much. I thought they overachieved at 7-3. And the preseason poll that I saw for ESPN, they have Texas in the top 20. That's insane. That is insane. Why would you rank Texas in the top 20? They lost Ehlinger and some talent, and they just switched coaches. That's not how it works. It's not you switch coaches and all of a sudden the new coach, makes your team amazing. That's just not how it works. Even Nick Saban had to take a couple years to fully integrate his system, and now Alabama's a perennial powerhouse. But it's not just, we're bringing in a new coach, and so that'll fix all their problems, and Texas will have a great season. No. There's a lot of teams that I saw in that top 25 that I'm like, what are you thinking? Oregon. What in the world is Oregon doing in the top 25? Did you not see what happened to Oregon last year? And their starting QB was very inconsistent, and Tyler Show has officially bounced. They have issues at quarterback. They finished the season 4-3. They got blistered. I think it was by Iowa State, wasn't it? They got pounded. what in the world makes you think Oregon is a top 25 team? And yet you leave UCLA out, who has an established quarterback. They didn't have a great season last year, but their schedule was brutal, and they returned pretty much everybody. And you put in Oregon over UCLA, that's because of brand. And it's going to make you look stupid because Oregon's not going to be good. And Washington deserves more respect than what they're given. Washington deserves more respect than USC. I'm telling you right now, Washington is going to be better than USC. And for ESPN to act like that the Trojans are this great team and that they're going to own the Pac-12, I think Arizona State could actually beat USC for the Pac-12 South. So to act like that they're going to take the Pac-12, all together, and it's going to be USC and Oregon, that's nonsense. The only reason Oregon made the Pac-12 championship is because Washington couldn't make it. And then you saw where USC lost because they are so stinking inconsistent. So you're taking the two most inconsistent teams and saying they're going to be good this year. That's nonsense, and it's crazy. Arizona State has Jalen Daniels. They started off the season slow, but then we saw by the end of the year that he's the real deal. They hung over 70 points on Arizona, and their defense is legit as well. Herm Edwards is building something special at Arizona State. Jalen Daniels is going to be a Heisman Trophy contender this year. So I don't get these rankings that ESPN has. It's stupidity. In my opinion. All right. Well, I'm thinking about doing that, Wisconsin, but I'm trying to, number one, let the comment go away and kind of let everybody forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's fresh, then it's not really as effective. So I kind of just gotta wait till it goes away just for a little bit. Justin says he's here sometimes, just don't talk all the time. Well, you know the old saying, it's better to be seen than heard. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. But I do like interaction. But I get what you're saying. You're fine. No problemo. I'm wondering if notifications are not doing what they're supposed to do again, because I've been having issues with that again, and it's really annoying me. Not gonna lie, it is really annoying me. I don't like it. I'm doing my my part. I'm putting out the content videos every day, and yet YouTube can't do their part. Simple notifications. That's messed up. That's kind of messed up in my opinion, but it is what it is. Yeah, good idea, Wisconsin. So, what did y'all... I'm going to get some reaction on my idea for the Patreon page. So, if you watched my video from today, my plans... I got big plans for the Patreon page. Right now, I'm working on the highest level of the Patreon page. It's called the champion level. And... I want to make it super special because, that's the highest level. So the first thing that I'm doing with that is if you join the Patreon champion level, then you get one call a month with me, 10 minutes. That's where we'll start. We might bump it up depending on how it goes. 10 minutes, and basically you can either talk to me about stuff that maybe I don't mention, and you're like, hey, I wanted to bring this up, see what you thought about this, because I haven't heard about you talk about it in a while. Or, give an idea for a video. And then, I'll make a video on it, put my own twist on it, and then, I'll do a shout out to whoever gives me the idea on the video. And that way, you get the shout out, and you know that was your idea. So I'm trying to make it, super special in a way that means something. And then another thing that I'm working on, actually, if you don't know, Joey Foster, one of my subscribers, has been actually helping me on the technical side of this. He created the Golden Blue Dude website at www.goldenbluedude.com. Check it out when you can. It's looking good. It's not complete. We'll add stuff to it, but it's out. That's the main thing. So me and him are working on rules for people that join the champion level. We'll have a drawing for the winner to be able to see a football game with me, Golden Blue Dude. So yeah, we're working on some pretty nice perks. The only thing about the game thing is, like, if you lived on the West Coast, I don't know if it would work out, because that would be a really long trip for either one of us. So on that one, it would be more on the East Coast side. But still, I think that would be pretty cool. And you would still get the phone call for either a video idea that you want to pitch to me, or just a conversation about something that maybe I haven't touched on in any of my videos, and you've been wondering and you wanted to get my opinion on it. Stuff like that. I just want to make I want to make that top level on my Patreon page for you guys, to make it like super interactive and really, really special. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to add some other stuff to the lower levels, like the gold level and the blue level. I just haven't had time, guys. Well, y'all know I do videos every day. I do live shows a lot, so I just haven't had the time to add some new perks to the Patreon page. But we'll get there. We'll see what happens, though. So a week from... It was either a week from yesterday or a week from today, the NFL draft will start. I think it's a week from yesterday. And I saw the list that... ESPN put out as far as best available for their mock draft, I guess is what you call it. So I came up with my own top 10, and it looks a little bit different. And I'm not going by... Now, whenever I came up with my list, I'm not going by, the needs of the team. Because then you'd have to rank it a different way, because I'm just going by the most valuable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'd have to switch it around, because the most valuable, the fourth most valuable might be a running back, and the fourth draft pick might need something else. So I didn't really look at who needs what as far as needs for each NFL team, because I'm not a big NFL guy anyways. But yes, Wisconsin, my team is Cincinnati, unfortunately. They've had a few good seasons since I've been alive, but it's been few and far between. I've been way more of a college football fan anyways. So this might surprise you on my opinion for the top 10 prospects for the NFL draft as far as sheer talent and how I think they're going to do in the NFL, okay? So we'll start at number 10. I think the 10th most valuable player in the NFL draft will be the cornerback out of Alabama, Patrick Surtain. It's going to hurt Alabama's defense, him going into the NFL draft. We all know Alabama reloads year after year, but this guy has the capability of being a shutdown cornerback. This is the guy that you want if your team has secondary issues and you need to upgrade. Who's that guy I'm thinking of? I can't think of his name. The guy that was known as the shutdown cornerback. I think he played for the Jets. Somebody help me out. See, I don't keep up with the NFL that much. Darrell something, I think. Darrell or Davis. I can't think of it. Dadgummit. But anyways, I think Patrick Surtain has the capability of being one of those very rare quarterbacks that's called a shutdown quarterback. Deion Sanders, someone like that. He would be a very important piece to somebody's defense. Let me if they're good up front and they're good at stuffing the run, then that's the guy you want if your pass defense is suspect. He is capable of shutting down an entire side of the field. Of course, he needs Darrelle Revis, my bad. Revis, that's the guy I was thinking of, exactly. Of course, quarterbacks always need help for over the top safety help. But as far as like sideline, between the sideline and hash marks, he'll shut it down. And I agree with you, Hufferbilly. Surtain is like Deion. Absolutely right. And I wouldn't be surprised if whoever drafted him might kind of tinker with using him as a kick returner or punt returner. The dude has some good speed. He has great reflexes, great speed, great reaction. He's good at reading body language too. So yeah, I think Patrick Surtain would be a great pick at number 10. I think Dallas would benefit from him. I think that would be a home run. I think that would be a home run pick for Dallas. I really do. I don't know what their needs are specifically or anything like that, but I definitely think that he would be a home run pick for Dallas. Seriously. All right. Number 9. I have Travis Etienne as number 9. I think he's going to be one of those durable running backs in the NFL. He might not be one of those running backs that can break one at any second, but he's going to be one of those running backs that's going to get you first downs, and he's going to have I would say at least a 10-year NFL career, and that's pretty long. That's pretty long for a running back these days. That's pretty long. So, I would take Travis Etienne at number 9. He's not the best running back available, in my opinion. I'll get to the best available. But at number 9, I would take Travis Etienne. I think he's dependable enough, and he will be able to get you those tough yards, those tough first downs, those tough goal-to-go yards that it's hard to get in the NFL. I think he's number 9 in my opinion. All right, next up is number 8. And this guy's a lot lower on the list than I expected. I think Mac Jones is number 8 in my mind. We saw how he adjusted whenever Jalen Waddle went down. And he had some crazy numbers. Comparable to Joe Burrow. Maybe not quite as good, but comparable. So I think his value is a little bit higher than what people realize. He immediately adjusted whenever a crazy situation happened. Whenever Jalen Waddle went down, they were like, our passing game is not going to be good. It might be okay, but with that happening, it's not going to be good. But Mac Jones made it happen, and he proved that he could adjust under difficult circumstances. And that's very important in the NFL because, adversity happens. So that's why I like Mac Jones at number 8. He's already proven that he can perform under adversity. His main go-to guy, preseason Heisman Trophy favorite, Jalen Waddle went down. What happened? Alabama had one of the best offenses ever, maybe right behind the 2019 LSU offense. To me, that's worth a top 10 draft. That's just my opinion. All right, number 7. Speaking of Alabama, one more time, I got to go Devonta Smith. I think he stepped in whenever Jalen Waddle went down, put up some tremendous numbers. won the daggum Heisman. I know that doesn't always translate well into the NFL, but from what I saw, he made his quarterback look really, really good. I think it's one part of each. I think it's Mike Jones being able to adjust through adversity, but I also think Devonta Smith is something special. I think the dude could be an elite wide receiver in the NFL. Whether it actually happens, I don't know. People don't realize this. When you get to the NFL, it's not just about your abilities. You have to have some breaks here and there. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He was drafted way down there. He needed some things to go his way, and things did go his way. And he got better and better and better. So, we'll see how his career actually goes. But from what I see, I think he has the potential to be a very good wide receiver in the NFL. Number 6. Speaking of raising your eyebrow, most boards have this guy either going first or second, depending on what board you look at. But for me, number 6 is going to be Kyle Pitts. The reason I have Kyle Pitts at number 6 is it depends on what system drafts him. We've seen it time and time again. Certain systems work for tight ends tremendously. Certain systems do not. So he's not a type of player that you can, sit on any NFL team and be like, yeah, he makes us instantly better. It's not the case. It's just not. I truly believe that Kyle Pitts will be a system player. I hope he goes to the right team. I want him to do well. But if he doesn't end up in the right system, things could go not as well as he thinks. I don't think, it'll be bad. I'm not predicting anything bad or anything like that. But it might not be as good as he thought it would be because of the system that he gets drafted into. So, to me, Kyle Pitts, his worth will be determined by the system that he gets drafted into. And that's not saying that he's not a good player. We all know that Kyle Pitts is a great player, a really good player. Florida will miss him. The only thing with that, though, is we're not going to be able to measure, how valuable he is to Florida because Florida's going to lose a lot of their offense. So it's going to be like a big chunk at the same time. So it won't really be all that measurable. But I think Kyle Pitts is capable of having an excellent NFL career. I just hope that he gets drafted into the right situation, into the right system. That's the only thing that I don't know about that. All right, number 5. And I promise, this is my last Alabama player. Number 5. Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris was the best running back is the best running back available in the NFL draft. I think he's going to have a really good career, barring injuries. I like what I see. He has more explosiveness than Travis Etienne. He's a little bit stronger than Travis Etienne. So he'll be able to get, the same tough yards in short yard situations, those first down situations, but he'll also be able to explode into the secondary and get those 15, 20-yard chunks. And I'm not saying that Travis Etienne isn't capable of that. I'm just saying Najee Harris is more likely to do that. So that's why I have Najee Harris above Travis Etienne. I think the general consensus, has him listed in a similar fashion as far as Najee Harris above Travis Etienne. Man, my nose is still stopped up. All right, number 4. This guy, I think, is a potential game changer. Micah Parsons out of Penn State. We saw how bad Penn State's defense looked whenever he opted out last year. The dude is a leader. The dude is a great tackler. He has great hands, great visions. this guy has the potential to be a foundation of a great defense. He's a born leader. I think he's gonna step in there and maybe not as a rookie, but as he grows into that role, he will be able to make people around him better. So he won't be just going in there as a good player. He's going to make other people better. And we already saw that with Penn State. Whenever he opted out, that defense it didn't look right at all. And not just because he's a great player, but he's a great leader, and he's a great influencer. So, I think Micah Parsons is going to be a tremendous player at the next level. I could see him being one of those, Ray Lewis type of players where, he's just born. He'll get them hyped up. He'll lead by example. And then, of course, he's talented. So I think Micah Parsons' value is way up there. I think he's just a tad undervalued. Not super undervalued, but just a tad. All right, number 3. And this guy, in my opinion, is the best receiver available. And I'm going to go with Jamar Chase with LSU. This guy has some massive hands. And his vertical is unbelievable. It looks like he climbs a 4-foot ladder whenever he jumps just straight. Not to mention whenever he has a running start. The dude is a freak of nature. I'm not going to put him up there with on the level as Randy Moss, because Randy Moss is a once-in-a-lifetime type of guy. But Jamar Chase, he's about as close to a Randy Moss as probably we're going to see in a long, long time. He's going to stretch the field. He's going to make defenses plan for him. They're going to have to come up with game plans just for him. He's going to stretch the field. He's going to cut those zones in half. They're going to feel like they're microscopic to those defenders out there. They're not going to know what they're going to do. They're going to double team him a lot. Really, the only thing that I say would keep him under Randy Moss would be, number 1, speed, and number 2, just being able to grab the ball at all angles. That's the one thing that Randy Moss that nobody will ever touch. The way he was able to grab balls at just crazy different angles, I don't think we'll ever see that again. So that's about the only thing that Jamar Chase falls short of Randy Moss as far as that goes. But he's still a freak of nature, guys. This guy is amazing to watch. Number 2. We're up to number 2. Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I don't have Trevor Lawrence as number 1. That's not saying that I don't think he's a great player. He might be number 1. This is subjective. This is opinionated. But to me, whenever I look at these top 2 players, I think Trevor Lawrence had more talent surrounding him, and I don't think he quite has the same hunger as the other guy that I'm going to mention. I think that Trevor Lawrence is more comfortable as, himself. He doesn't, need football to be happy in life, which is fine. I have nothing against that at all. But that might be the one thing that separates him from the guy above him, is that extra gear. That one extra gear that you see regular, whoever it is, we'll call it regular Trevor Lawrence, and then the extra gear Trevor Lawrence. Listen, Trevor Lawrence is amazing. He is great, but we've never seen him have an extra gear. He's just always been top level great. But whenever you get into those crazy situations, national championships, whatever, I haven't seen an extra gear. Does he have an extra gear? Or, is that it? Which, that being it, he's still great. I don't want it to get lost in the translation. I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is not great. He is really great. He is. I just don't see that championship gear, that last gear, as far as, your team's down by so many points, and you're like, I am going to win this game for my team. I don't care what you guys do. I'm going to will this team to win. I haven't seen that from him. So, yeah, I think he's a great player, but I don't know about, being able to will his team to a victory when maybe all seems lost, or, you got to dig down deep and grab that extra grit or that extra gear. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've seen his greatness. I've seen his talent, his capabilities, all that stuff. It's amazing. It's just that extra gear. I haven't seen it. That brings me to number 1. Quarterback for BYU, Zach Wilson. This guy is a freak of nature, guys. The problem is he plays for BYU, and we didn't get to see him all that much. And the most we really saw of him whenever he played against Coastal Carolina and they lost. Did y'all not see how he played, though? Even though they lost, did y'all not watch him? Zach Wilson is made for the NFL, guys. He has that extra gear. He has all the intangibles. He's a natural-born leader. He excites me. I'm not even going to lie. And I saw it before last year started. He was one of my Heisman spotlights that I was looking at. And I'm actually surprised that he didn't finish higher than what he did. I think he got robbed. And it's probably because of the team he plays for and because they lost to Coastal Carolina. But if you look at his overall body of work, the dude is amazing. The dude is a freak of nature. And I am 95% sure this guy is going to be a success in the NFL. He has the arm strength, the accuracy, the decision making, and the extra gear. And that was the one thing in my mind that separated him from Trevor Lawrence. I could be dead wrong, guys. Trevor Lawrence more than likely will get picked at number 1. That's just the way it is. It's just in this particular draft, I value Zach Wilson just a little bit more because he's shown just a little bit more toughness, that extra gear, than Trevor Lawrence. And don't twist my words. I did not say Trevor Lawrence was not tough. I said Zach Wilson showed a little bit more toughness. So don't get that twisted. And, whenever I say I like somebody just a little bit better, that's not saying the other person is bad. I mean, number 2 overall, that's still a great spot in the NFL. So I still think that Trevor Lawrence is, highly valuable in the NFL. I think he'll do all right. But he is, we're going to see right off the bat, because Jacksonville takes Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be put into a tough situation right off the bat. So we're going to see, a lot of his character and stuff, which he's a good person. I'm not saying anything bad about Trevor Lawrence. Don't get it twisted. I have nothing bad to say about the guy. It's just I have never seen him in a difficult situation find that extra gear. That's the most basic way that I can word it. So we'll see if he proves me wrong. Maybe Zach Wilson turns out to be a bust and Trevor Lawrence, becomes a 4-time Super Bowl winner. You never know. It could happen. So, but I hate to cut this short, guys, but I'm not feeling good, guys. I've been tired the whole week. My kids have been sick. I've just had a long week, and I'm not feeling all that great. So, yeah, I'll check out everybody's list whenever I get off here, but I got to get off here, guys. I'm just not feeling all that great right now. But I still wanted to grind out a show for you guys. because my shows are Monday and Friday. That's not a lot, and I know I do videos every day, but the live shows, there's only two. 9 o'clock Mondays and Fridays, the after work show. So even though I wasn't feeling good, I decided to grind it out for you guys. Y'all deserve it. Y'all are a great bunch of subscribers. Go check out my Patreon page. See what you think about my new perks. The highest level, champion level, gets you a call with Golden Blue Dude. Come up with a video idea and I'll do it. I'll shout you out and you'll know, hey, this particular video, that was my idea. I pitched it to the Golden Blue Dude and we made it happen. And we're going to start figuring out the rules for the ticket drawing to go see a football game with Golden Blue Dude. And I have a pretty wide area that I think I'm going to be able to go to. Probably as far south as maybe a Florida State game, as far west as maybe I don't know, probably Alabama would probably be the farthest west I could go. And then I could probably go as far north as like Ohio State. So kind of just that mid-Atlantic area is probably where I'll where I would go to see a football game with you. So if you're on the West Coast, probably not going to happen for you because that's a long drive. But like Citrus, Nebraska, if they were to play Ohio State in the Horseshoe, we could go see that, something like that. There's always a way to get something done. So we'll figure it out. Anyways, I'm going to get off here, guys. Y'all have a good night. I'm just not feeling all that great. But I'll keep the videos pumping out. The great thing about making something that's not live is when you start feeling bad, you can just cut, take a break, and then just pick up, and then you edit together, and it's like, the same thing because you can't really tell. So that's why I'm able to do videos even when I'm not feeling good, because I'm like, all right, I'm not feeling good. I'm going to cut right here, and I'll come back to it here in a little bit. So